Hey guys, Maurice Chevalier here. Just wanted to talk about two of Logic Pro's new vintage EQs added to version 10.4. There are actually three vintage EQs, but I actually purchased two from UAD, and I thought it'd be a good idea to make a comparison to see how they stand up. All right, so let's get to it. I'm going to solo my vocal bus. Yes, these vocals are me, so please forgive me. It was a test of an Antelope Edge mic that I purchased not long ago, along with the discrete interface from Antelope. So let's solo the bus and turn off the effects and bring up the Neve EQ. All right, so this is the UAD version, UAD2 version of Neve's 500 series EQ. It's a preamp as well, sounds great. I've got the treble boosted. It's a 12K frequency EQ, and I'm boosting it nearly all the way, and you can get away with that because it's so smooth. I'm taking away at 220 hertz. I'm taking away quite a bit. This knob is the gain for that EQ, and I'm taking away a significant amount, and I'm adding a bunch of 220 hertz to make the signal warmer, as you can hear. So what I'm going to do is match that with Logic's version and see if we can hear the difference. So Logic's version of this EQ is the rack mount version. It's the exact same filter set though. So you can see here, this is the 12K. This is the mids. This is the low. And then there's a cut here. We're not using it, it's off on both. But it's very smooth, and let's see if the Logic's version stands up. Okay, you already know the answer. I went through this for a couple of hours, and the Logic version sounds just like the $249 to $300 UAD2 plugin that has to run on a separate processor. There's nothing wrong with the UAD processing. It's a good idea if you're running out of steam in your computer, but I am very impressed that Logic has emulated that so well. I'm wondering if they actually emulated the UAD2 version of this plugin. But it sounds great. I'll shut up and let you hear them. Now the Logic version. Really cool stuff, right? I'm gonna leave that and bring back the entire mix. And then I'm gonna move to my bus where I have Pultec EQs. Logic's version is reversed, but it is a match for the Pultec EQ. So the peak and dip are on top of the rack in the UAD2 version, and they're on the bottom of the rack of the Logic version, but they are the same. So I matched these settings as best I could, you know, the best I could. And I noticed two things I'll tell you about in a second about the Logic versions that are quite interesting. All right, so I'm gonna flip my bus from the UAD2 version to the Logic version and go back and forth so you can check it out. There is a thing to note. You'll notice here that I have a boost on the Logic version, and that's because per the UAD manual, the Pultec version of this EQ, the original device had a boost just by turning it on. So I added that boost back just to make up for that difference. I don't think it's a huge deal, but it is important to do a pair comparison, so I added that level back. All right, so let's go back and forth again. This is a very smooth cue. Maybe I'm giving Logic a too much. Both very smooth, and I gotta say, if I owned, and I do, I would be upset. I'm not said, this Pultec EQ has served me for quite a few years on quite a few mixes. But it would be a question as to whether or not it would be worth buying if I didn't own it. All right, so let's get to something else important here. The Logic version adds a couple of really interesting features to all three of their new EQs. If you're using the original hardware versions of these EQs, well, you're lucky, first of all, because you got the original hardware versions of the EQs. But also important is that the original hardware versions are switched. So when you're choosing frequencies on any of the bands, they switch. That's for the Neve EQs and the Pultecs. They switch. They're hard switches. Logic's, you can click on the numbers, click on the frequencies, I should say, on the EQs, but they also have the advantage of being able to be selected in between. You can choose any of the frequencies, which you could not do with the original hardware units. That is exceptional. That means you can treat this more like a regular parametric EQ. All right, the second thing is that Logic's version allows you to use the output circuitry and saturation of the other two vintage EQs. So in this case, the Pultec is the Silky Tube EQ, but I could switch it to the Neve output circuit. And you probably can't hear that on YouTube or on the internet, but there is a significant difference in the circuitry, especially when driven. Right? It's still very subtle, but it's there. All right. Here's also a phase or linear, so you can do linear phase with EQ, which is impossible in the real world, but very cool in the software world. So all in all, I'm really impressed with both EQs. I'm also impressed with the third. I will let you see it, even though I'm not using it in this testing. The third EQ in the collection is the graphic EQ, model of an API, which I did not demo, but I have no doubt that it does the job. It can help you get rid of some problems or create some. It also allows you to tune it. I'm not even sure the hardware version has that feature. But it's very cool, and I'm very impressed with the job that Logic did with this. So that's the 3 vintage EQs compared with the UAD versions, and I hope you dig it, and I hope you dig what I'm doing with it on this track. Once again, I'm Maurice Chevalier, and I'm hoping that you'll check out my other videos, subscribe, comment, ask questions. I don't mind answering them. I don't mind demoing this stuff for you.